Autumn was coming, and with it came a bit of a drop in traffic. But that didn't mean it eased up altogether, as Amy and Cassie found themselves rushed off their wheels and up to their funnels in work. Sutton had a few businesses having an increase in goods, especially at the gasworks at the north of the town, but the work was starting to take a toll on the 2 tank engines, as they soon found out.
Oi! Careful, Cassie, or you might overdo yourself.
Oh, Amy, I'll be fine. Besides, I've done a lot more in worse situations. I've never known anyone to give up when things get a bit rough.
So that's King Arthur.
And in any case, I've managed with tougher workloads in the past.
But you've been in the same spot for the past 5 minutes, and don't think I didn't catch your wheel slipping before I came over.
Cassie fell silent, but wasn't ready to give in yet. All right then, lass, I'll show ya. Trust me, as soon as I get these wagons moving, I'll prove it to you I can do it. Amy was about to say something when Cassie started moving and had just got to the point leading onto the goods direct line when... What the bloody hell was that?
That was your cylinders and your valve gear.
Cassie's driver said grimly as Cassie sighed and gave in. She wasn't going any time soon now. Mr. Edmonds looked on in despair.
Well, Casey, you developed cracks in your cylinders. Valve gears mangled and broken.
Well, Cassie, can't say I'm surprised, but I also can't blame you for this. You'll be taken to Brighton right away for fast-track repairs. In the meantime, I must see about finding another engine. Even though I've already sorted that out.
Cassie looked on in dismay as Amy shunted her into the sheds, and for the rest of the day, Poppy helped out between her trains for the rest of the day. The next morning, Wyatt was to take a goods train out first, and Amy trundled out of the shed and was about to reverse back into the yards when, to her surprise, the train had already been arranged and placed in the exchanged sidings. And another, and another. The G6 looked bewildered as she looked at the 3 goods trains. There was then a loud shrill whistle. It was a green tank engine with 6 wheels, a strange-looking safety valve, and a large dome, 2 whistles on the top. At the front of his cab, weird-looking rectangle tanks, a tall funnel, and the back of the cab gone with Great Western, and a logo between them on his tanks. The engine was smiling.
Hello there, you must be Amy.
Yes, I am. Who are you?
The name's Evan, lass. I've come to help while Cassie is getting repaired.
Amy was more surprised than anything else. The small green tank engine didn't know what to say to his newcomer. He looked rather strange, but nevertheless, the pair of them got to work. Evan was getting on rather well and quickly. It had only just gone past 12. But it seemed that he was overworking himself, and this was already worrying old Inmond, and he brought it up with Amy.
He's a good worker, but is constantly pushing himself. I'm worried that he will fail, and then that will put us in a bad spot.
Well, sir, if I may vouch for him, he hasn't struggled with anything he's given. Give him a while, and he might be worth it.
Lord Inmond reluctantly agreed, but he wasn't sure about Amy's judgment. That afternoon, Evan was shunting down the line at Buckley Yards, South Faycrest Station, which was the second yard to Sutton, and Alid and a Lion, both of which were double-headed goods train. came into the exchange sidings and rolled forward to see Evan rushing past.
Hey, Elliot! Look, it's one of our own!
The Pannier tank too. I told you the Pannier design would become popular.
I never said it wouldn't.
Evan coupled up to the back of the train and started taking it in halves to the main yards, as Alec and Elian went up to the line to the sheds, Sutton and Evan soon followed. He stopped in one of the shed rows, where Alec and Elian stopped talking and glanced towards the Pannier tank. He felt a bit unnerved.
Hello there. I take it you're that new engine helping Amy out.
Way to the point, obvious L.
Who said I was? And anyways, I'm Elian, and this is Aled.
Hey.
I'm Evan.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Evan. I hope that you'll be staying with us.
Well, I've been enjoying myself since I arrived, so I hope so too.
A few days had passed and Evan had no problems and was shunting a train into the exchange sidings when Colin rushed in, looking exhausted.
You alright, Colin?
I'm getting overworked on my branch line. I don't get how Poppy can manage her line on her own.
Maybe because she doesn't have as much work. That or her schedule isn't as full.
Yes, well, either way, I feel it's going to take a toll on me soon.
Evan knew about this sort of situation and promised to try and help Colin out, if he could. A few days had passed and it wasn't long before Cassie would be coming home. But the rain had come and the engines were finding life difficult. It was so bad that both Amy and Evan had to bank trains to help them move out of the yard, which worked. But all the same, it did prove to be difficult and poor Colin was still fearing no better on his line. And Evan started to become under pressure with trying to come up with a solution. It was raining hard one morning and Evan was on his way back from Shirehampton after collecting wagons and was outside the bank at Buckley Yards and had stopped to make way for Wyatt and wasn't there long before a familiar western whistle went off as a line came into view. But something didn't seem right as the line began to come down, its wheels started spinning and then locked as it skidded down the bank and all of a sudden
What in the name of Swindon?
You alright, Elian?
Yeah.
Aside from my train though.
It's covering both lines. We better get this cleared up quickly.
Wade, isn't Cole coming this way soon?
Oh, bugger!
Signalman ran to his box and set all signals to danger. Both Elian and Evan knew that he wouldn't be able to stop in time. And there were no signals between the outside of Shirehampton and there, but Evan had a risky idea.
Leave it to me.
He rushed onto the main line and began reversing towards the bottom of the hill and let off a loud blast of his whistle.
Huh? Wait. What the hell? Evan, move!
Cole's driver slammed on the brakes as the northeastern engine struggled to stop as Evan started moving away and had only been moving for about a minute and a half. Cole came to a stop.
What in the bloody hell?
All I'll say, Cole, is look in front of you.
Cole did so and almost lost his fusible plugs as he saw the wreck that laid about 10 feet in front of him.
Well, I never. Thank you for this, Evan. Sorry for shouting at you.
Don't mention it, Cole.
That evening, Evan was telling the story to whoever was there when there was a loud whistle as a familiar small tank engine arrived.
Welcome home, Cassie. How was your stay at Brighton?
Been cooped up for too long and I was glad to have that run. Gave me a chance to stretch my wheels.
Well, Cassie, in that case, I believe a change in work seems to be needed.
What do you mean, sir?
Well, a few days ago, Evan came to me expressing concern about you, Colin, and how you've been struggling to keep up with the workload.
Yes, sir. But what does this have to do with anything?
Well, I sat down and started wondering. Evan here is a lot more suitable and able to keep up with the demand of trains. With no disrespect, Cassie. But I thought she'd be a good candidate to work with you, Colin. She's just what you need on your branch. Small and versatile. So I spoke with the board and they have agreed. So Cassie, starting from tomorrow, you shall be going to work with Colin on his branch line, and he'll show you what to do.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And thank you, Evan.
Don't mention it. Being kind and generous goes a long way, you know. And from what I've seen, some engines could learn from that.
As for you, Evan, after your good work here these past few weeks, I've spoken to the Great Western and they have agreed to sell you to us.
You mean to say I'm an IVR engine now?
Indeed. I've seen your work, and after today, I am more than impressed. And I'm sure Amy would like you to stick around.
Well, there's only so much I can do anyways, so I wouldn't mind the extra muscle around here.
Lord Inmond smiled and said goodnight, and left, leaving Cassie trying not to chuckle.
Cassie, you alright?
Well, guess I've got to get used to this now. Time for the old dog to learn some new tricks.
Well, I guess that's one way of putting it.
Oh, for goodness sake, Casey!
The engines laughed and chatted for the rest of the evening. But little did they know is that a certain saddle tag was watching them from the darkness, scowling.